What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box, and this is GameStock Car Extreme, where today we're going to be doing a 15-lap race against the AI here from Goiania, or something like that. I'm sorry, I don't speak Portuguese, therefore I totally can't pronounce the name of a track in Brazil. That's how it works. There's nothing I can do about it, man. As we are driving the V8 stock cars, which is what GameStock Car is all about. That's why it's called GameStock Car. It's the game for stock cars, and that's why it has that ridiculous name of GameStock Car, which is still an absolutely ridiculous name, even though it does make sense. But it doesn't make sense. There, I said that. That's to say it every video. Not a fan of the name, but whatever. Anyways, all joking aside, we do have the AI set to 90% aggression, 107% difficulty. They're using a 50% damage multiplier just in case they run into us or we run into the back of them. As obviously they are AI, and AI is prone to being stupid in every game. It happens. And overall, this should provide a fun, exciting race that will be a challenge for me and hopefully enjoyable for you guys to watch. Done a few races with this combination of AI settings and with this car, and it's just been a blast and really quite challenging, which is very fun to have offline. And you know, it does take some effort to find your settings for offline racing in terms of getting the AI dialed in just right, so that way you know you have a chance, but you have someone to race with, and you have to actually work at it. It's like if I wanted to race, for example, for my skill level at 100% AI difficulty, I'd be clear of the field by now, just laughing around, doing absolutely nothing, not even trying, making no effort, and having no fun, really. But by turning it up, you get pretty much the same type of experience I get online in terms of I have to try as hard as I can if I want to do good, which I want to do good, so therefore I need to try. And of course, you know, your settings will vary. It depends on your skill level, as well as your knowledge with the cars and the tracks and everything like that. But in general, just for people looking for tips on how to set it up to get the most optimum AI racing that you possibly can, I prefer to look at the track and just figure if it has a lot of high-speed corners. I think about Brasilia, for example. A lot of high-speed sweepers in that course. The AI is a little bit slower in high-speed corners, so turn that difficulty up a little bit. For tracks with a lot of tight corners that are very technical and everything like that, you might want to turn it down a little bit from your baseline. So just a little tip for you. So it's definitely fun to be had offline, and that's really where I spend most of my time in GameStock Car for a variety of reasons. The multiplayer, I'm not going to lie, isn't that active. You would need to join a league if you are planning on online racing GameStock Car. But on that note, I would actually like to start a league for a GameStock Car, but I don't have a clue how in the world to go about doing that. And I'd like to have some information. If any of you guys out there know how to do that, please let me know. I'll be interested to hear. Because I think we could probably get enough drivers to make that actually a thing that could work. Pretty sure I've sold enough copies of GameStock Car that we can form a league. But no, I just like the offline racing. It's just different. You know, I spend a lot of time racing online and iRacing, and you know, that's really clear from looking at the channel. But what you don't see are all of my races. You know, don't look at it and just see iRacing races and say, oh, well, this guy only plays iRacing, you know, that's that. No, it's not the case. I just mainly upload that because, in my opinion, online races are more exciting to watch. There's always that human element. You never know when somebody's going to screw up or do something stupid, and every race plays out differently. And there's that element of randomness that, you know, you just don't get with an AI. But at the same time, it doesn't mean it's no fun to do. It's just not as exciting to watch, in my opinion. I mean, honestly, I've said GameStock Car would be the sim that I would pick if I could have only one. Said that when GameStock Car 2013 originally launched, and I still stand by that. It'd still be the one sim I could have if I could only have one sim. Because there's just no weak spot. And, you know, I know people are going to say, you know, R Factor 2 has better physics, you know, Assetto Corsa is more moddable, and, you know, all this, and, you know, everything like that. And it's true. You know, the force feedback isn't as good as it is in R Factor 2. The physics aren't as impressive as the R Factor 2 cars that are really top-notch within that sim. You know, it doesn't have the same level of, you know, impressive graphics, if that is your thing. Personally, I like the graphics here in GameStock Car, as, you know, Assetto Corsa or Project Cars. But at the same time, there's no area that I look at GameStock Car and say, this really annoys me. This irritates me to no end. I can't stand this. You know, there's no weak spot. You know, the AI isn't the best I've ever seen. That would go to NASCAR Racing 2003 season, by the way. But it gets the job done. The sounds aren't the best ever, but they get the job done. The physics aren't the best ever, but they get the job done. Tracks aren't the best ever, but they certainly get the job done. And overall, you know, that's what makes this package, because I know a lot of people will always say it with GameStock Car, you know, it's just an R Factor 1 mod. Certainly the case, but R Factor 1 never looked like this, sounded like this, played like this, straight out of the box with no tweaking and tuning. I'm serious, I'm not paid by Reza or anything like that, because every time I do one of these videos, I totally sound like a paid spokesman, but that is not the case. I just really, really like GameStock Car. And more people need to know about the greatness that is GameStock Car. And yes, this is the same exact game where just a video prior I was driving a 2014 style F1 car. Same game. It's pretty cool. You know, that's spanning a wide variety right there. You know, when you get the AI set up, kind of like what I got going on right now, where they're just right for my talent level, my ability. I actually have a challenge. It's just right. So, you know what? It's not an online race, but I certainly enjoy it just as much. Plus, one thing I will say, for you guys out there who, like, well, okay, the main attraction is the stock cars. It's undeniable. That's why the game is named GameStock Car. And thinking, well, I don't know anything about these cars, I'm not going to even bother. I don't know anything about these cars either, except for what I already said. Still enjoy it. You know, enjoyable cars are enjoyable. And plus, it's actually kind of fun to see how many names you actually recognize in this series. I guess apparently Rafa Matos is now driving stock cars in Brazil. Didn't know that. That's cool. It's good to know. If that ever comes up on a trivia question, I am set. You know, there's probably 5 or 6 names I actually recognize, which is kind of shocking. And I think for a lot of you guys, you'd probably recognize, you know, just as many names. Which, you know, really doesn't mean that much. It doesn't necessarily make the game better or worse or anything like that, but it's just kind of one of those cool things that makes you realize that, hey, just because I don't know anything about this doesn't mean that I don't know anything about this. Plus, I'll also say, it's really good to see actual skins in an actual series with an actual track and everything like that in a sim these days, because that is getting increasingly rare, both in sim racing as in, you know, just regular game racing. So it's really nice to see that. Definitely enhances the immersion a little bit, even if you don't know the series. I have to say, the update to this car that they made with the version 1.2 update, this car is less forgiving, more difficult, but at the same time I also feel like it's kind of easier because I don't find myself having the urge to attack as hard because I know that doesn't work. That guy a little bit of bumper. Let him know he's going too slow. Put the inside there. We'll go ahead and grab second. Got the position. It's the leader right in front of us. But it's just good to see, you know, immersive cockpits, immersive physics, immersive sound. AI that actually is very fun to race with, I must say. Just like, I love GameStock Car. Don't be fooled into thinking, oh, this guy only cares about iRacing. Honestly, if I had to label myself a fanboy, it'd be I'm a GameStock Car fanboy. I'm a tremendous fan of what Riza Studios has done with GameStock Car, and of course Formula Truck, which is due for an update shortly. You'll see that as well, but just a very strong package. I was worrying about that car a little bit too much in my mirror. Fortunately, we didn't lose the position. Just past halfway. Grab second again. I think second is a little bit faster, but third's a bit more drivable. Coming off of the corner. These cars do feature push to pass, which is available here in this game. You get 8 button presses, but I'm not going to be using that in this video because of the fact that, as far as I know, the AI doesn't get to use it, which obviously that put me at a huge advantage. It does feel like, as opposed to, for example, the iRacing IndyCar, push to pass in this thing, I don't know what its settings are specifically, but try to pay more attention to the road there. As the leader makes a mistake, and I get hit in the rear bumper. Whoo, that's close. That was intense. I totally lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, push to pass. You know, it feels like when you turn push to pass on, it just goes really fast. Like all of a sudden, it is like hitting a nitro power-up. Come on. I also say I really like the mirrors. I think that is an advantage of this car sitting so far back, obviously. You have a good visibility of the mirrors. And if you look at these cars from the outside here, we'll switch around. And you can see you're sitting in the back seat. So those mirrors up there are very visible and everything. It gives you good vision out of the cockpit, and you can only look back and see that, which is great. I think I just cut that guy off. Yes, I did. I meant to do that. Hopefully I can get a little bit of distance on them. I think I'm starting to have some issues with the brakes. I think I've used them up a bit too much and overheated them. Because it doesn't seem like the car is stopping quite as well as I'd like it to at this stage. That could just be mental errors. Still back there. But really with this update, it is, at least in my opinion, a lot more about slowing down earlier. The brake distances seem a bit longer than what they were previously. And I've heard a lot of people complain about, you know, brake lockup, and it's a lot easier to lock up the brakes now, which is certainly true. Which I think sort of puts more of a premium on rolling into the corner and making sure you have the right entry speed rather than braking as late as possible. Well, I better figure it out because that guy is getting closer. And that was a terrible corner. I'm certainly a much better chaser than I am a friggin' leader. Not gonna lie. He's all over our bumper now. This should be lap 13. It's just a couple more laps to go. Going back to my earlier point about recognizing the names, I guess that's Ricardo Zonta behind us. In which you'll almost certainly recognize if you follow Formula 1. Okay, why do I keep taking that silly line? Maybe AI, but I still want to win. That's what it's about. Certainly not just a relaxing stroll in the park. Got 2 to go. Just bump. So easy to lose it there in that corner because it is such high speed. Plus that bump really upsets the car as the road falls away and you really want to get loose there. Stop in the middle of the corner there, diamond it off. Oh no! Running wide there. Yep, that's opened the door. Open the door on the last lap. Okay, we can do this. Brake early. All of a sudden, it's way darker than I remember because there's not a car with headlights behind me. You nail this corner here. Careful on exit. No! No! No, don't hit the tire barriers! I got him! I got him! Got him! I backed into him! You will not win today, Ricardo! It ain't happening! I'm guessing I probably don't have a rear wing at this stage. Nope, it's still up there. Should really be out of the race right now. Just got a little bit too much on the curb and pushed it a little bit too hard, and there was that mistake. Oh, that was unexpected. That was unexpected indeed, but you know what? That just goes to show you. Set the AI up right and you get a challenging race. Very rewarding, very challenging, and it's going to improve you as a driver. You're going to learn to not make stupid mistakes like that. And you'll have a bucket load of fun. You don't have to race online to have fun, but yeah, that's that. Let's go ahead and stop here, and I want to take a look at my car, see what kind of damage I got. And next to no damage. That is a miracle. I got a little bit on the right there, but there is a full damage model. Obviously, like I mentioned earlier, I'm running a lower difficulty strength, or lower strength of difficulty, or damage multiplier. I'm sorry, I just got out of the race and like my brain's like fried right now, but you know, so obviously if I was running on 100%, the car would be pretty much totaled there and it'd take the rear wing off and everything like that, but not here today, so that does allow us to finish. Boy, I was losing time there later on in the stint. Let's go ahead and check Zonta's time. He was a little bit faster towards the end, but fastest laps about the same. You know, 123.9 for the leader, or for the eventual race winner. So AI set just right for me, and I enjoy it. So hope you guys enjoyed watching this race, including that plot twist out of nowhere. Alright, bye.